No.
Perfect. So I'll continue for today, and from tomorrow, first 15 minutes, we will discuss on the assignments. Okay, and
Okay. Yeah.
then we will continue with the further sessions. And the assignments, what I will give is all based on what I have taught you. That's all. Nothing out of
Okay.
syllabus will come. Don't worry.
Okay.
Cool. So let's start. So yesterday we worked till the range, right? Yeah. So we checked the range function yesterday. You remember?
Yes, Prasanna.
Okay. So I'll just give a recap that range function, it accepts two parameters also, three parameters also. Two parameters when we say start with and end by that particular number, and then when you want a reverse counting, that is uh, for reverse values, you have to use this in a reverse order from the highest number to the lowest number, along with the third parameter, which is the step. If I say -2, that will decrease the steps by -2. So for as we have seen yesterday, the solution is already here. So I started with 20 and ended before 1. So it it was going through -2 steps, right? So this is regarding the range function which we have seen yesterday. So now there are few more functions which are very much required for us to continue with the lists, sets and dictionaries. Okay, so first we will see the string methods. Okay, so we know few methods for string, that we use str function to convert anything to a string, any data type to a string. And we also know that a plus symbol is used to concatenate two different strings, right? So there are other predefined string methods, which are the functions which are built into Python, which allows you to perform useful operations to string, such as splitting them or changing their case. So they can be used for any comparison and for non-case sensitive values. Okay. For example, the first method is to uppercase. Okay. So for example, I will take x as a value and I will say there are no capitals. Okay, and I this string is in lowercase, but I want it in uppercase. But why is this required? Why do we need to change the capitals or smalls? This is required when you are comparing two different things. Okay, for example, I will tell you in the code basis why this is required and where we will use it. Okay, for example, in the database there are two different tables. Okay, one says the students list and the other says the student score. Okay, both are linked only with the id. Okay, id or some any field. Okay, or the name. For example, in my first list where I have the students list, the id and name are available, but the name is available in small letters, small case. Okay, and in the second table I have the same thing, but I have the name available in capital letters. And in the string, because Python is case sensitive, it cannot compare a lowercase string to an uppercase string. It is not equal, right? For example, if I say a equal to test, Okay, and I will say B is equal to caps test. And if I wanted to check, I don't want any if, just I will say print. Um, I will compare them like A double equal to B. Okay, so if I compare, if both are equal, it will return true. If both are not equal, it will return false. Right. So here see, it returned false. That means small case letters is not equal to capital case letters. So if there is any chance, we have to convert them and then compare them. I know that this is equal to this, but Python is case sensitive. We can't do anything. So in that case, what I will do is I will convert this to this and then I will compare. How I can do that? Okay. So here in, I will just remove this. I will use the same example as test. Okay. So now what I will do is I will say before that I will say print a. I want to convert the value of a, right? So I will say a dot upper. Okay, this will return me the value of a in uppercase, right? See, this has returned, but still I get false because a has been changed to uppercase, but it is not being assigned. It is only changing on the fly. Like whenever you run it, it will change on the fly, but it is not getting assigned to this variable. A is still small case test. I am just using it for comparison. Now what I can do here is, one second. Okay. Can you hear me now? Okay. So you can hear and see my screen, right? Okay, perfect. So yes. So what I'm saying here is when this a the value of a, even if you change it like this, like we use a method only to change it on the fly, and we will not use it as assignment to that variable. So a is still small equal to test only. If I say just print of a is still the same value, small test, right? A dot upper is the on the fly method where you wanted to change the case only while you're doing that operation. Okay, so whenever I use a comparison, I will say a dot upper is equal to b. Now if I run, I got this as true. Okay, is this clear? How will I know? I should check the chat. Yes, okay, perfect. Now the same thing to the lowercase. I want to compare this with this. So what I will do, I will just say b b dot lower. This is the method to convert the uppercase letters to lowercase letters. Okay. to compare, I will say I want to compare A with B dot lower. That means then both are on lowercase now. See, so B dot lower has printed test, and now A is also a small case test. So the comparison is true now. Fine. And now this will not get affected based on using any of the special characters. For example, I will use this test exclamatory. Okay, so I not here, I will use the B1. So I said B is test and exclamatory. So it will only convert these letters into lowercase, and the exclamatory symbol will be as it is when I say B dot lower. So when we run it, see, the only the letters which are available is converted, and the exclamatory is has no change. This will not get be getting affected for any of the special characters. This is about the upper to uppercase and to lowercase methods, that is dot upper and dot lower methods. And next we will go to is upper and is lower. These are boolean ones. Okay, these are only to check, like for example there is this conditions which we have seen in if conditions, if else conditions, right? So we need a condition over there. Okay, or while in while also we have a condition. So for every looping functions or flow controls, we need a condition. So for we cannot check all the conditions like greater than, less than, that's all, but we have lot of other scenarios where we need to check. In that case, what we can do here is I will check now B has capital letters. I will check B dot is upper. Okay, that means I am checking if the value B contains only uppercase letters or no. Then it should return a true. So see, if I run it, it returns a true. The same method we have one more called is lower. It only checks if it has up lowercase letters or no. I will check it for the same B, but B has uppercase letters. Then it should return false. So if I run this, see, this is false. Okay, and then both this is lower and is upper, it only works for letters. Okay, for example, if I have numbers 1 2 3, oh shit, 1 2 3, even if I give is upper or is lower, 1 2 3 is not an alphabet. So what it will return is, it will always return false when we have number. See, I am testing this now. See, it returned false, and I will also check for is upper. Okay, still it returns false. So this one is only about the string methods, and it should have uh, alphabets, not numbers. So wherever we have numbers, we will get it as false. This is upper and is lower is only for letters. Okay, and then we have one more method called is alpha. This is also a string method which is called as is alpha. Okay, is alpha means only the numbers. I will say B dot is alpha. Okay, and B has numbers. So when I run it, sorry, is alpha is only for alphabets, that is letters. Okay, so when I run it, it says false. Okay, when I run it for A has alphabets, so it says true. Okay, this is very simple. Alpha is alphabets. When you have num, it is number. Okay, so there is one more method which has both. Okay. There is one method called is alnum, the second one. Okay. Is it an alphabet or number? It will return true. See, for A it is returning true, and if I check for B now, which has number, it is still true. That means either it can be an alphabet or a number. It returns true for this. And next one is decimal. Is decimal is a method where it is true for only numbers. Any number it might be. See, for second one it is true, and if I do it for the first one, it is false. Okay. And this can be like test 1 to 3 where it has both the alphabets and numbers. In that case, if I use alnum, like where it has both alphabets and numbers, it will return me true because it has both alphabets and numbers. Okay. And then there is one more called is space. That means if the string has spaces or no, that's all. If the string has space, it will return true. Only space, not space in between anything. Okay. For example, if I try for a this thing, it is false. And I will give a space between test and 1 to 3, but still it returns false. See, if I only give space, any number of spaces, then this e space will return me true. See here, true for the second one. But if I only want to check this one, okay, then what I can do? That is a space in between, but I only want to check if this space is available or no. At what index this space is? This space is at fifth index. Like four are already done, and then fifth index. But the index starts from 0. That means the fifth index is 4. Okay. So what I will do is I will say a, which is the variable for test 1 to 3, and then I will call it with index. Whenever you call some index, you should use square braces. Test of 4. Then this will return true because the fourth index in this particular string is a space, right? You can use index directly also, like for example, test space 1 2 3. I have a string and I can use this index directly with the square braces, and if I run it, see, it's true again. Okay. There is one more called is title. Okay. For example, test the code. I will say a dot is title. Okay. Is title gives for each word in the string, it will convert the first letter to the title case. Title case is nothing but for each word, the first letter should be in capitals, the others will be in the small letters. So if I run it, so it says false. That means this is not in a title code. So if I change the first letters to capitals, test the code. And if I run it now, see, it is true. That means the isTitle function is working for this variable a. Okay. And For example, I do not have this one. I have a normal case, small letters, and I wanted to convert this to, um, I will say first I will print A, and then if I wanted to convert it to title case, how I can do it? I will just say print of A dot title. Dot title method converts the string in the variable A to the title case. Okay, so now if I run it, the first print, it prints the same exact code which is in the variable, and the second print is converting that to A dot title. That is test the code. But the third one, when I am checking is title, it is still false. Is your mic working now? Bhavna? No. Okay. Fine then. Today no interaction session. It's a one fly. Okay. So what it happens is it is the same thing as I told before, that this is the on the fly function. It is doing the operation on the fly and it is not assigning it to the value. Okay, so A will still be the same thing, and that is why A dot is title is still false. If I do it like dot title, that means it is converting it to title case, and then dot is title. I want to check it after converting it to title case. Then it would be true. See, this return true. Okay. Is it clear till now? Sure. You can take. Let me know once you're back.
Prasanna, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yeah, yeah. Done.
Okay. So is it clear till now?
Yes, Prasanna.
Okay. So the next string method.
Just a question, just the last question.
Mhm.
In this statement, why it is not working in the last statement and
This one and
yeah,
this one.
yes,
Ah. So what is the value of A
it's just the code.
in small cases,
Yeah.
right? What does this method do is title. It will check only for the title case values. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
What is this title case is?
Lowercase.
No. First letter is the uppercase and the remaining will be lowercase for each word.
Okay.
Okay. This is the title case.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so A dot is title is still false because A value is still in smaller case. Okay, in line number 10 what I am doing is, with the value of A I am first changing the title case. I am changing the case from normal case to the title case, and then I am checking if it is title or no. Understood? I
Yeah.
will also add a print for A dot title. Okay, that means I'm converting this test the code into this format. Okay, if I run it here, see the second one, it says it is converted, but A is still the same. It is not assigning the value to the A. This is just a
Okay.
on the go function. Okay, on the fly function. where it will just do the operation at that particular time, and it is not stored in anywhere. Okay. And then we will get into the other method called starts with. Okay, this is dot starts with and dot ends with. Just that we will check if the string starts with this, then it is true. Okay, I will just say print and I will give a string. This is a string. Okay, and what I'm saying is this is a string, but is it starting with, I want to check if this string is starting with this. Okay, so is it starting with this?
Yes, Prasanna.
Yes. So it will print a
True.
true. Perfect. So this is true. Here we directly gave the string name and we are checking if this starts with this. But in the real time, what happens is there might be different kinds of IDs based on for example, you went to an hospital. Okay, hospital has this IP and OP. Like IP is inpatient, OP is outpatient. Inpatient is getting and going and getting admitted. OP is just going, visiting the doctor and coming back after your appointment. Okay, so in that case, in such scenarios, what they will do is they will create the IDs based with the starting of their condition. Like if there is an IP patient, they will create the IP ID saying IP underscore some value. Okay, and if the patient is an OP patient, they will create an ID saying OP underscore so and so. I want to check in the list if this particular ID is starting with IP or no. This we will use it in our loops. Okay, if there is a list of IDs and in all the IDs I wanted to check only the inpatient IDs. In that case, what I will do, I will write the loop and I will check. I will write a check there saying this particular string dot starts with IP, then do this operation. Kind of. Understood this scenario?
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
will this? Oh. So this is the starts with method, and whenever it starts with the string which you have given, then it returns true. Okay. If it is not, then it will return false. Okay, this can just not be word, it can also be a letter or some any character. Okay, and then the same goes for ends with. Ends with T? No, it did not end with T, so it's a false. I will say end with G. Yes, it is. And end with NG. Yes, it is, because the last two letters is NG. Right. So this is how the starts with and ends with methods work. Okay. And then there is one more method called join. Join combines the strings. Okay. There is you already know this concatenation which joins two strings.
Yes, Prasanna.
So if I just run it, see, this is a string and ng is added at the end. Okay. Join also works the same way. It just combines two strings. But if there is a list, we will learn about lists later, like in after the string methods. But I'm just showing it for you to understand an example. Okay, I have a list of strings. It can, here I have given only two in the list. List always is represented with square brackets. Okay, this list I will just say I do not have anything on the start. I will say and dot join this list. Okay. So if I run it, see, and here, whenever you use this dot join, the first one what you are using is a separator. One second. Hmm. So here I did not give anything in the separator. Okay. So the in the list, if I'm adding this and this, I do not have anything as a separator here. Mm, I will add few more strings so that it is very easy in the list. I will add all these as list items. Okay, now I have 5 items in my list. This is a string ng. All these are 5 items, and I am saying join all this, and I do not have any separator. Then it will join without any separator, and I want space between all of them. The first parameter is the separator, so you can add a space between them. If you add space and dot join, see, a space is added between each one of them. Okay.
Okay.
So I can add any different characters what you want as a separator that will add between those strings. Okay. This is the join method which combines the list of strings with a separator whatever you want it to have. Okay. And then we will get into split method. This one is to join, but I wanted to split it. Okay. I want to split the strings and give the list. Okay, let's see. By default, it is splitted by spaces. Okay, I will say I have some strings here, values in a string, and this is not a list. This is normal string. Okay, and I will say dot split. See, before what we said join. In that case, what has happened when I am giving the list of values, it joined into one particular string. Okay, now I am giving one particular string and I want it to be a list. So split each one of them and add it as an item in the list. So this is dot split method, and when I run it, see, as I said, list will always be with square braces. Hmm? And how it has splitted, it's splitted with the spaces. Like this one is one, and after space, milk and dot comma is one. Did you understand the difference?
Yes, Prasanna.
Perfect. So now what I want is I do not want to use space to split. I only want to use comma for splitting. So what I can do inside the split method, I will use this comma. Okay. What it says. Okay. I'm using comma to separate this. And when I enter, see, before comma, there is only something called x. So in the first inverted commas, if you see, the first value is only x. There is no comma. But the second value after comma, there is one space also. One space and the value milk. So the space is also added because you're only splitting with comma. So in the second value, if you see, there is one space and then the value. Okay. and the third one also space with value. So you can use this split method and divide it based upon your requirement. I do not want this comma also and space also. What I will do, I will use in the split comma and space both. Now if you see, you will only get the names split it in the list. Okay, is this clear?
Yes, Prasanna.
Perfect. Then we will get into the justify methods. We have two justify methods, which is right justify and left justify. Okay, so whatever you say justify, it will do it with spaces. The first one, example. Ow. I will say hello world as a string. Okay, and in the next line what I will say is the same hello world. Okay, and I will use right justify, that is r just. Okay, r just is the method for right justify. Okay, so I will not, and inside that you have to provide a parameter like how many places you want to justify it, what is the total number of indexes you want. For example, I have given 15. Okay, so first we will count what are the indexes here, how many we have here. Okay, so this is one,
We have
two,
11.
three, four. Yes, perfect, 11, and I have given 15. In that case, it adds 4 spaces to right justify this particular one. See, if I print here, so right justify, it is giving 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and the total would be 15.
Okay.
Okay, if I use L just, that is left justify. But if I use left justify, can you see anything here? After this one world, even if the spaces are there, you cannot see anything, right?
Yeah.
But we will just run it and I will see 1, 2, 3, 4 are there, but you cannot identify it and see if it is available or no. Correct. So what we can do here is we can use a second parameter also. Instead of spaces, see, in if we just use L just or R just with the number of values you want, the indexes you want, it will just add spaces. But you do not want spaces. I want something to identify it. Okay. For example, I will add something called star. Okay. So if I do, see, 4 stars has been added to adjust the indexes to 15. Okay. The same for rjust. If you add a second parameter with some value, that will be added before to justify your string. It can be anything. Oh, sorry. This should contain only single character. See. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we got this left and right justification, but I want something in the center. Okay. What I want? I will use dot center. There is a method called dot center. Okay, so if I run it, see, center method, what it will do is it will add characters on both sides to make it justified this the string which we have given in the center. Okay, so we have 4 more letters, that 4 has been adjusted left and right. Understood?
Yes, Prasanna.
And then we have something called strip methods. Okay. Mm, So strip method needs one argument. Okay, if I add something called exclamations, if I had, and I want to strip the exclamation. Can you see? My exclamations are gone now. Strip is nothing but remove that particular value.
Okay.
Okay. Strip, see, if I have exclamations before and after, it removed all of those, right? But I only want something on right side, right strip. Okay, it will only remove the values on the right. Okay, and there is one more called left strip, which will remove values on the left and the right values will be remaining as it is. Okay, there are three, which is one is strip, which removes values, whatever the value you give as a parameter on all this on the complete string. And when you say left strip, it will only remove the values from the left. And if you say right strip, it will remove only from the right. Understood?
Yes, Prasanna.
Okay. And then we will get into replace method. Okay. For example, I have some string called good morning. Okay. And then what I want is I want to replace morning with afternoon. So replace method takes two arguments. The first argument is the one which you want to change. Okay. And the second argument is the one which you want to replace with. If you see here, this is the old one and the new one. Okay. So I will say good afternoon. And if I run it, see, this good morning has been updated as good afternoon. Replace method just replaces the given string with a new string which has to be appended. Is that fine?
Yes, Prasanna.
Now the length. Mm, Okay, I will say something called tree is good. Some random sentence. Okay. What is the length of this particular string? This can be verified by a method function called length. Len refers to the length of the string. Okay. So if I run it, see, 12 is the length of the string. This 4, this 4, 8, and the middle 2 is 10, and the spaces in between. This is 1, and after is there is 1. The total is 12. Okay. And now, if I wanted to get ease out of this one, as I said before, we can use the indexing. In the before one of the example, I told you that we can use indexing to get particular value out of it. So how can I do it is that I will have to give the index of this particular part where I want to start with. So what is the index of I is I in this particular sentence. Can you tell me the index of I?
6.
And the index starts with
I. I mean, sorry.
index starts with
T. T.
uh, the number. Give me the number.
6.
No, the index starts with 0, not 1.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, sorry.
You remember?
Yeah, yeah.
Then in that case, I would be
5.
perfect. So this is 5. Okay. And then where I wanted to stop. S. S should be my last value. So what is the index of S?
It would be 6.
Correct. But all the string indexing, whenever we say the first argument is the index number and the second argument is 1 plus the index number. Okay. So this is 6. So 1 plus 6, we will always do 7. Okay. Is this clear?
Okay, okay.
So when I run this, I will have to get is printed for me. So see, is this clear?
Yes, Prasanna.
Now, if I want the length of this particular one, can you tell me what will be the output of this line? Length gives the length of the string, that's all right.
Yeah, but you're indexing the
Indexing it.
middle part. Yeah.
Hmm. So
So
what will
IS
be the
will print.
length?
IS.
Is is the value. So
Yeah, yeah.
what is the
But
length of it?
2.
Perfect. Is this clear?
Yes,
So
Prasanna.
we can use a function inside a function also. Okay. I can use str function and then the len function. We can use multiple functions also. Okay.
Okay.
And then what we will do is we will do one small example of string reversal program. Okay.
Okay.
I will take the input from the user. How can I take the input from the user? Which function I can use?
Input function is used.
Right. So in the input function, I will give the description saying enter a string. Okay.
Hmm.
If I wanted to reverse it, I have to go through each one of them in this string, right? I have to check each
Yeah.
one of them and then reverse it. To check each one item of particular value, what can I use? I want to go through the complete string one by one. Okay.
Okay.
And this is a fixed variable. Whatever the string you will give, this will be a fixed iteration. So what can I use here?
You can use indexing for this or reverse method.
Reverse method? When did I tell you a reverse method? That's a
Maybe.
variable I'm writing.
Oh, maybe we do we have any reverse inbuilt function?
No, there is no inbuilt function. I have to create a program with the existing functions. See, whenever I wanted to go through any of the items one by one, I will use loops. right? I have to loop through the complete value, right? So in that case, I will have to use a loop, which we have seen yesterday. The for loop, while loop, you remember?
Yeah, Prasanna.
Hmm. Here we have a fixed value. Whatever the value is given by the user, that will be a fixed iteration. If he gives a length of 4, we will only iterate to that 4. So if we have a fixed value of iteration, which loop should we use? Either a for loop or a while loop. Do you remember? This is the
One second,
reason I
Prasanna.
ask you to do hands-on. Okay. The concepts, if we read, we will just forget it.
We'll use for loop here.
Correct. So for, I will say for each item in, okay, uh, what we will get here is some input from the user. Okay. And I need the fixed value here. Okay. And I want to check the range between all this. So how can I check a range? I have a range function. You remember the range function? It gives the numbers from 1 to 20 with a step.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So we will use the range function. And the first one what we will give is the index of this particular one. Okay. For example, if I have a 5-letter word, my index would be starting with 0. That means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 would be my maximum index, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
what I can write, I cannot directly write 5. So the length will be 5, but the index will be 4. So I want only 4. So how can I write it? I will say length of the input, which is 5, minus 1, which is 4. Understood? So I am saying this complete length minus 1.
Okay.
I will give you an example here only. If I say the user has given the input of 5-letter word. Okay. If I wanted to do a reversal, okay, reversal, I will have to give the maximum index first, right? So see if I run this. Oh, what has happened? Did I miss anything? No, that's correct. This is correct, or you know? Ah, I'm printing this directly. I have to loop and then print. Mm, I will say x equal to this range, and range cannot be stored in one variable, so that is why it is throwing an error. So for y in x, print of y. Okay, whatever the response I get from the range, I am looping through and printing it. Okay, this one 20, 19, 18. Okay, so this one, now what we have to do is we have to check with our variable. Okay, the same thing what we will do is with a variable. For example, my input, enter. Okay, and then I will loop through for item. Item is nothing but y, which I'm using here. Okay, in x. Here what I'm, where I'm using x. X is what? The range. So I'm directly giving the range here. Is that fine?
Yes, Prasanna.
Hmm. So here the range, the first digit is the maximum number, right? So the maximum index would be the total length minus 1, correct? So how can I determine the length? Using length function. Length of the input, which gives me the total length, and then minus 1 to get the correct index values. Okay, that is my maximum one. And then what I am saying is go for minus 1. Okay, the last one should be before this. So if I give 1, see, before that it stopped. That means I want till 0. See, this is my 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0 also has to be checked for reversing it. So I want it till minus 1. That means minus 1 plus 1 will be 0. Okay, so if I give 1 here, it gave 2. 1 plus 1 is 2. So if I wanted to go for 0, I want minus 1 plus 1. Understood? And the last parameter in a range is the step, like how much decrement you want. So for each value, I want to go one by one. That is one digit of decrement I need. Right? Did you understand?
Yes, Prasanna.
So I will use minus 1 here. Okay, I will remove this. Okay, so my loop is ready. And what I will do after getting into the loop, once I get into the loop, I want to print it. Okay, so before that, I will use a variable. Okay, I will say reversed, which has nothing as of now. It has nothing, it's an empty string. I want to update that string every single time. Okay, inside this, what I will do is reversed plus equal to input of item. Okay, what I'm doing here is for the input of item, item is the number which we are taking in a reverse order. Okay, first R will come. First I will go for R, right? So in the first loop, what it will do is it will add the input of index 4 that is R, to the reversed variable. That in the next loop, what after this one, when I get into the next iteration, there will be R already in reversed. Okay, first loop gives me the value R, then it will give the value E. Because I'm using the range in reverse order, it will go in reverse order. So when I get this E, in the next iteration I am saying add this value from the input to the reversed variable. That means it would be E again. Is this clear? It's very important you understand what we are writing.
A little confusing, Prasanna.
Tell me where you like where you did not understand. We can make it clear. Do you want me to explain again?
Yeah, if in case.
Sure. See, you have to ask. Okay, this is important for you. I don't have anything to get all. Okay, you should raise questions wherever you have doubt. I will repeat it 100 times also. That is fine for me.
Okay,
Okay.
Prasanna.
See, first, let's think the user input is mm, test. Okay, the user has given the value as test. How many variables we have in the test? Four. Four values we
4.
have in the test. Correct. So what I want is I want all the four in reverse order.
Okay.
That means my output should be T S E T.
Yes.
Correct. So what I have done is here first I said my output reversed is just the variable which I've given. My output currently is nothing. I don't have anything in this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I am looping. How I am looping is, if you remember the range method, if I want the reverse numbers, okay,
Okay.
I use this range with -1 as step.
-1. Yeah.
Correct. So the
Mhm.
same thing I'm using the range with -1 as step. First thing.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, to get that I want from reverse order, I want this T S E T. Okay, the next one is the start of the number, like from where you want to start, and the end of the
Mm.
number, right?
Okay.
First we have given 20 to start with, so it started
Mm-hmm.
with 20. So here what I want, this index is, because this is a string, I need the index of it.
Okay.
I want the index of this last one because it has to start with the last. So tell me the index of last T.
It would be 3 actually.
Perfect. So the index is 3, which I have
Mm-hmm.
to start. But I have I want to know the length of this one. What is
Okay.
the length? Length of this
4.
one is 4.
4.
Okay. But I want to start with 3.
3.
So what I have done is I am checking the length of that particular input -1. Understood?
You cannot use it directly like 3 and 4.
See, if I directly use 3, how can I use 3? That is first thing. How do you know that this index is 3?
Okay. So first
See,
you're counting the length, right?
yes, I don't know if the user gives a 4-letter word or a 5-letter word or a 6-letter word. Right? I
Okay.
cannot directly give a value there. In
Mm-hmm.
that case, what we will do, I will use whatever the value you might give.
Mm.
Okay, that will always be some length. I just want -1 out of it.
Okay.
Understood? If I say my user has given the input testing, so I have 7 letters total.
Mm.
but I want the last letter which is of index 6. That is always length minus 1.
Yes.
So that is the reason I am using length minus 1 here.
Okay.
Is this clear?
Yeah.
Hmm. And the second one is the end where I have to stop. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if I have the same testing, okay, the
Okay.
last one is my index 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the first index is 0. The first
Yeah.
t is 0. And till 0, I want everything.
Okay.
Okay. So in the range, if I give it 1 here, it will stop before 1,
Yeah.
right? So 2 is before 1, we are getting this 2, so it stopped at 2. But I do not want that. I want the value 0. So minus 1 is given because 0 is before minus 1. I want
Okay.
to stop at 0, so I have given minus 1, so that the value 0 will be included for my loop. Understood?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the range what we have given in the for loop. So now what I am doing is I know I am accessing the index with this one. Okay. For each of this letter, for item is nothing but is letter, anything you can use. Okay. So what I'm doing is for each of this letter, I am saying from that index, add me add that value to the reversed variable. Okay. First thing, when I start this loop, it starts in a reverse order, correct?
Mm-hmm.
The first
Yeah.
value would be 6. See, this 7, but we are using it as 6. The sixth value, the index value at index 6 is G,
Yes.
right? So the letter here is 6. G, sorry, G. So what I'm saying is in the input value of G, add this G to reversed.
Yeah.
Okay, now on my first iteration, the output would be G, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the second iteration, it will get into the next letter N. Okay, in that case, for the existing reversed, I am not creating any new variable. For the existing reverse, I am again adding a new letter. So existing already G is available because in the first iteration I already got G. In the second iteration, what I will get this N as printed here.
Yeah.
Okay.
GN.
So similarly, it will go through all of them and print it in reverse order. Is this clear?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So this will only, this whatever the program you have given, this will only give the value to reversed. But how can you check it? You have either you have to check in the console using print, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I will just say print the value of reversed. Okay. So now if I run, see, it is asking me to enter some value. I will say
Okay.
testing. See, did it print?
Yeah. Yes.
Did it print? It also takes spaces and whatever the value you give as a string, anything. Okay, we are not checking if whether the value is a string or a number or anything. We are just saying whatever it is there, you just reverse it.
Mm-hmm.
Is this clear?
Yes. Yes. Personal.
Perfect. Let's stop here for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And tomorrow we will start with there is one more small method called format for the string, and once after that is done we will go into the lists, how we can access list, what is the like how we can slice a list, and all the functions related to lists we'll see tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
Before getting further, we will check the assignment first. Okay.
Okay. No problem.
Okay then. Thank you very much.
Thank
That's all
you.
from me, Sai. Sai, are you there?